Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Celsius, ticker symbol CELH. And so I just have that up there because I recently did the options video just yesterday, and that was one of them that, looks pretty exciting. And yeah, so this is Ticker Request Live. I will be taking ticker requests probably for just an hour tonight. I got work tomorrow, and I kind of wanted to get into some setting up some trades for the day during the pre-market because I'm going to be at work. And so I probably won't be doing this too late tonight. Last week, I think I did this for about 3 hours, so kind of crazy. And so, yeah, also, I should note if you guys are new to the channel, I do tend to do Ticker Request Live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I say I do tend to do Ticker Request Live because sometimes I do miss it. Sometimes I just get tired, overwhelmed, unmotivated, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm happy to do this. And if there aren't any requests right now, I can just kind of get some stuff over here, organized over here. And I did get some requests in the comments, so maybe I will go over some of those. Hey, Saul, what's up? Happy Sunday. Yeah, so I did get some requests for, let's see. One of them was NNDM, so I'd be happy to go over that chart, but just kind of like record it as a video so I could release it later. And then also another one that was requested, I think like the VTOL, those stocks, I got a request for some of those. But yeah, I mean, I just, I gotta, follow the stuff that, I get excited about because, putting these videos together is a lot of work and doing the analysis is even more work. And one thing that I've really found, recently, like over the past, couple months, I'd say, is just the value that options data adds to any sort of analysis, whether wanting to trade options or not. It's just like another, it's like looking at the chart, it's like two-dimensional data, but looking at options is like four-dimensional data. So it just really adds a lot of dimensions to it. Okay, so Saul is requesting WKEY and RGTI. So what I'm probably going to do is just clean up all of these that I got up here. I'm just going to delete them, so give me a second. And happy to add any of them up if people want me to go over them, but I did just go over them fairly extensively in the options video, and I just selected the ones that really stood out to me as being most useful or most bullish. Neo, for example, I'd already put out a video on that, so I didn't do that one. But also Rivian and Celsius just seem like they're looking really good. But of course, I could be wrong about those, and it's also got to factor in time frame. So good to be doing that. And so, yeah, I will add, let's see, WKEY, which is whiskey, internet. And so on that note, I have something to cheers with you in a second. And RGTI, Rigetti Computing Incorporated. Cool. So yeah, I'll go over those. And on the note of WKEY, cheers. Happy Sunday. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend. I've been off the past few days, so tomorrow is like a normal Monday for me. But yeah, I mean, I hate going to my job. So yeah, I'm sure we all do. But yeah, cheers to you guys. And also regarding the weekend, hopefully you guys have had all right weather. It's been terrible weather where I'm at, and so I've been productive inside, but just icy, slushy, snowy, cold. It's been pretty miserable. But anyways, we're here now, so cheers to us and cheers to the market opening tomorrow. I think it's going to be an exciting week as it usually is. Anyways, cheers. All right. Okay, so I will start with WKEY. Whoa. Yeah, so for me personally, I don't typically trade stuff like this, especially because like Friday was up 139%. And so, I'm not sure what news that was on or what's like this right here, what's going on with whiskey shares Friday. It's up 139%. So in my view, it's like the move's already happened and the risk to reward, right now. So I mean, because this could, it just pulls back to Thursday's close, and that's a more than 50% drop. And yeah, so let's see. What is that percentage drop? It's about almost 60%. So I just think like right there, just to one day, very risky. Is there anything in the past that, I mean, it's had some like spiky moves that didn't really last. And I guess I'll read about the company because this, yeah, let's read about it. So the profile here. Oh, it's WISeKey, not whiskey. Ha ha ha. International Holding AG is a Switzerland-based e-security company. WISeKey makes sense. It offers secure communication solutions for physical infrastructures, mobile networks, and the web, and helps protecting corporate data with archiving, invoicing, and other security technologies, securing mobile phone communications and data, among others. The company also provides identification and authentication solutions and serves clients from various industries, including defense, health, education, finance, and government. Its product portfolio includes, among others, WiseFans, which delivers customized sport contents, WiseID, which is an encryption solution to store usernames, passwords, personal identification numbers, or PINs, credit cards, loyalty cards, notes, and other critical information. And so Wise Phone for securing privacy in the area of mobile communications, and Wise Authentic, which is an anti-counterfeiting and sales monitoring system. So this is interesting. I feel like this is kind of pretty relevant just with like AI and security and the new like Microsoft chip and stuff. So I think a lot of this stuff is pretty relevant to that. It is curious because it's like a Switzerland-based company. So why would that be? Why would it be Switzerland? I mean, a lot of you hear about like Swiss bank accounts, stuff like that. So that kind of makes sense a little bit. Let's see, market cap about 77 million. So I mean, I don't know. I don't necessarily trade stuff based on market cap, but that's not like minuscule. Whereas some of the other stocks that I've looked at had like surprisingly small market caps for what they're trying to do. So I mean, I feel like that is some like working capital. I to be honest, I would kind of expect more than that, but and also that is, so that's market cap of like 77 million when it's at. So it's like for every dollar, it's about 10 million roughly. And so when it was down here, it was trading at like $2. And so it was like a $20 million market cap company. So that I'd say is pretty small for a company doing this. But let's see. Maybe there's that spike over there kind of throws things off. But just drawing like a trend line, like that. Yeah, I mean, I just like the way that I view this is like, it had kind of like a fake out breakout here, just like one close above that trend line that I drew. And yeah, I mean, it got a test here, rejection. And so I could see it coming back to that, which would be coming back to like, let's say best worst case scenario, $3 a share, which would be here where the cursor is. So that's still well above that downtrend. So yeah, I feel like this is a little risky. There's volume behind it. The MACD is green. The RSI is like 94.28. I mean, that's like, I feel like I would think that, I'm just going to do a Fibonacci retracement. This is probably not that useful. But, my thought process with this is that, maybe it could be coming back to the 50% retracement, maybe finding some support there. I could see it going, to 618. That's at $4.20. That's a fun number. So I don't have any money on it. I'm not going to put any money on it. But if I was to put my money on it, I would say that I think it's likely to come down to $5 a share. And I think that it'd be funny for it to come down to 420. So, yeah, I mean, it's just this big move. If it is to continue, I mean, just think about like Bitcoin and stuff. Maybe this is a little abstract, but like Bitcoin just hit and is like trading at all-time highs now. It just hit like 106, like an hour ago. And, it didn't just do that. It didn't just go straight up to that number like this candle right here, for example. It moved up to like around 100, consolidated for a while, and then kind of, moved up 102, whatever. And then it went up to 104, and then 105, and then 106. And now it's pulled back some. And so I think this is probably going to pull back some. And so I think $5, if I like really, I mean, here's the thing, are you in it to invest in this company because you believe in it, or are you in this to make money? If you're in this to make money, this is a risky play. It's up over 130%, 139% in one day. It's going to pull back. So if you want to get rich quick, that's gambling. This is probably going to lose you money. But maybe it pull back to $5. Still, I'd say it's gambling because it's a Switzerland-based company. And, what is this company doing that CrowdStrike's not doing, that all these other security companies are not doing, that, as far as encryption goes? Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I mean, I never heard of it before. I thought it was WISeKey, not WISeKey. So, yeah, I think that if you wanted to make quick money on this, you've missed that opportunity. But yeah, cool chart. I think $5 is likely to be hit. And I'm not saying that's a buy level. I'm just saying that I think it's likely to be hit. And I'm just going to add this to the DGen Ed list. And then I'll get on to Rigetti. This one, yeah, I mean, these moves to the upside, like this big green candle here, 45%. So that's pretty big. It has pulled back a little bit. There were dips following that big move, but it's been consolidating up here. And so that makes me think this is, healthy moves up. Up move, consolidation, followed by an up move and consolidation. So this looks much healthier to me. And this is also a computing, like technology kind of company. So let's read about them real quick. So Rigetti Computing Incorporated is a full-stack quantum computing company. This is kind of like the sexy stuff right now with Willow, from Microsoft. And so the company operates quantum computers over the cloud and serves global enterprise, government, and research clients through its Rigetti Quantum Cloud Service Platform. And so I'm just going to interrupt this profile here real quick in the thought that in 2024, AI was like the term everybody wanted to use, oh, AI, I want to buy that. I feel like with the announcement of Willow from Microsoft, I feel like quantum, whether, they're using qubits or whatever, I don't really understand the technology, but yeah, I mean, like I think that quantum might be the new sexy word. And with that being said, like SMCI, maybe that's a good example of a bad thing. Like I think like a rising tide lifts all ships, but then like they ended up, going down a bunch because whether it was fraud or bad accounting or whatever. And so if there are companies that do quantum stuff, I think that they might go up, but then they might be part of that bubble, whether it's the semiconductor bubble or the AI bubble, whatever it is. Some of the stuff in that bubble, there's going to be a film of soap making that bubble or whatever it is. And, that might be like, the good stuff, but then there's all the other stuff in there that's just air. Maybe this is one that's just air. I don't know. Although the market cap of being over, $2 billion, that makes this feel a little more compelling to me than WISeKey. And also Rigetti, I can pronounce that. WISeKey, I thought it was whiskey. Okay, and so where was I? The company's quantum classical infrastructure provides high performance integration with public and private clouds for practical quantum computing. It has developed a multi chip quantum processor for scalable quantum computing systems through the company's quantum computing as a service platform. Its machines can be integrated into any public, private, or hybrid cloud. It is also engaged in the sale of quantum processing units, or QPUs, and custom computing components, and development contracts and other services. Its QPUs contain fabricated silicon-based chips featuring superconducting qubits. The company designs and manufactures its chips in-house at Fab 1, an integrated quantum device manufacturing facility. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be something going on here. But, I mean, it's like just taking a step back. It's like moves on this scale, they seem like sustainable to the upside. And then going back, it's like, whoa, there's nothing over here. And so, yeah, one thing that I think is really interesting about this chart, I'm just going to try to zoom in the appropriate amount. If I just connect the tops here, I wonder if there's going to be like a breakout and retest here. So I think that's kind of an interesting thing to look at. Yeah, that's really cool. That this downtrend was acting as resistance, and then when it broke above, it retraced to the scene of the crime, as Gareth Soloway likes to say, and then it bounced, and then kind of like this level served as support, and then it continued higher. So yeah, I mean, I think the chart just looks really cool. Well, let's look back in time to see. I think right around here is going to be some notable resistance, just, kind of arbitrary. Right there around $10 makes sense, getting into the double digits. But I guess that's around where they were IPO'd, I would imagine, because it was so flat over here, or DPO'd, however they were listed. Also, you got the tops over here. And so what price is that at? That's around $9. I could move that a little bit lower just to be around 9. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be going up to around $9 or $10. So I definitely think there's still some upside for it. If it does pull back, though, I feel like right around here, that would be about $5. Got the double top over here. Both times pierced $5, but just thinking about, round number, or I shouldn't say round number, whole number, because $5 is an odd number. But, or is that a round number? It's not an even number. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I think $5 makes sense. It could be pulling back to that. And so let's just consider, not considering the low over here, because then there's the up move here and then pull back. And so, and then, from there, up move and pull back. And so following, this progression of up moves, let's find the low over here following this big up move, and then do I guess Fibonacci retracement, although that would be assuming that the top is in, and I am not necessarily assuming that the top is in right now. But if it were to be in right around, $8, the 382 is right around $5. So maybe that could be a level of support, if it does pull back. But, this could, of course, if this goes up to $9, let's see, or better yet, let's say it goes up to $10 and then tops around there. Then, the 50% retracement from that makes sense, going from like 66 cents, basically 0 to 10. The 50% is right around 5, right around that line, so that does make sense. Another thing that we can do is, let's see, Fibonacci extensions. I might switch over to the weekly time frame for this. And so I would think for this, let's see. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go from this all-time low of 36 cents up to this high here, and then down to the low over here. So let's see what that does for us as far as Fibonacci extension goes. And by the way, it's going to be well above them, so we'll probably want to look at the 2618, I believe is what it will be. This is also, just approximate. So 2618, that's right around $9. I'm a genius. I happen to, just guess that. But yeah, so taking a step back, I think WISeKey, risky, not worth it. I would not play it. I think Rigetti, also risky. I'm not playing it. Don't plan on playing either of them. But I think that there's more to this one, with that being a potential retracement to around $5. But it might go up to 9 or 10 before then. And at that point, it's kind of getting into price discovery. The all-time high is $12.75 over here, but there really wasn't that much price action above, $10 a share. So I think it's a really cool chart. And I'm going to make sure that is added to the DGen watch list. I try to keep track of the ones I go over. And yeah, I see that there is Cyberview and Disclosure Crypto. So I'll definitely go over Gari Network for you, Disclosure. And so what's up for the last 2 weeks of 2024 is what Cyberview is saying. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I think it would be funny if Bitcoin closed the year at like 99,950 or something, because so many people would like the yearly close to be above 100,000. So I think that would be funny. And so maybe I think that will happen. For me, just kind of my thoughts about crypto and stuff, because I think crypto is kind of exciting. I also have so for me, I got a new TV recently and I didn't know what to do with my old one. It's kind of, didn't work that great for streaming and stuff. So I just have it behind this computer with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, and Ethereum Classic on it. So I always end up looking at them. But so my thoughts on crypto for the end of the year is, I think it'd be funny if Bitcoin closed below 100,000 at the end of the year. I just think that'd be funny. I also think it would be great if it ripped some faces off and went up to 120. And so I have a Bitcoin position that I view as my retirement. I'm not selling it. I just stack a little bit each day. Very not exciting. If it were to pull back a lot, I would add more aggressively with those daily buys. But yeah, I just have something that I do a daily DCA that I think I can sustain. I also have some Dogecoin. I was just thinking about this yesterday that, Dogecoin I want to hold it forever, but at the same time, it's a meme coin, it's not like Bitcoin. And so I was buying it to be taking profits at some point, but I'm going to wait to take some profits because I am up at least like about 3x, I think right now. Maybe more, maybe about 3x. A little less than 3x. And so I was, I should at least, take some risk off the table. I should wait, though, until the new year because I don't want to be taking profits at the end of the year and then have to pay taxes on that in a few months. So I'm probably going to lower my risk with Doge in the new year. I also have Ethereum Classic, easy to move, and it's cheap and stuff. Fast to move. I have some of that, but I don't really have that much. So I'm kind of contemplating whether or not I would take profits in the new year. Maybe if I got to 2x, right now I think I'm up about 50% profit. I also hold some RLC, which is iExec, which is a crypto that relates to AI and stuff, computation. So I have that. I'm in the red with it. I plan on just getting my average down. I think that we're kind of, we're in Santa Claus rally mode, and I don't think, I don't want to take, I do trim, but I don't want to take massive profits on stuff until the new year because I don't want to pay taxes on them. And big firms who've made a lot of money, markets at all-time highs and stuff, they're not going to want to take profits until the new year, unless it's a stock that's down a lot, and then maybe they'd want to cut some losses to get a tax break and then buy back a month later. So I feel like the end of 2024 is probably going to be good. Good performers are probably going to continue to perform well in my view, bad performers may continue to perform poorly. Then we might get a reverse of that in January with people, let's see, taking profits on their winners in the new year. And then a month following, which could be the second half of January or into February, people starting to buy back what they had cut their losses on in December. And so I think we could get, continuation to the end of the year, then maybe a little bit of a pullback. And then I think that we'll probably see stuff continue, which may correspond with the inauguration, maybe not, I'm not sure. But anyways, I will pull up Gari Networks so we can look at that. Oops, over here. So Gari Networks. So this is crypto. I don't know if this is the one that I was looking at. This is from Kraken. Let's see. Maybe this is. I don't know which one I was looking at before. I should have. Yep, this has to be the one that I was looking at because I got some drawings on it. And so let's see. So right now I've got this on the regular Y scale. This is the weekly, so I'm going to switch over to the daily. This is, so for me, like I was just talking about Doge, Ethereum Classic, and RLC, they're all not at all-time highs, whereas Bitcoin is. And just like what happened before with Bitcoin, really being up high, and everybody's talking about, wow, Ethereum's really not performing that well. There's a lag in the altcoins. And so I think that what we're going to see is continuation to the upside. Bitcoin hitting all-time highs. A lot of these altcoins aren't and weren't at all-time highs, but I think that they will still be pressing higher because Bitcoin's pressing higher. So some gains that are made in Bitcoin might be rotated into the alts. And so, following, this, what I did here, let's see, how did I, I don't know. I don't know that this, I think I drew this when I was just learning Fibonacci extensions. I don't necessarily think that one's too useful because, we're below that. So I'm actually going to delete that, that Fibonacci extension. And what I might do is, let's see, I'm just trying to think about this. I might switch this over to the log scale, see if that gets some more interesting stuff going on. Yeah, so there's a nice little channel there if I do regular. Still got that channel, but it's not really that useful. See, I think I want to switch this to the log scale. Got this nice channel now. We are contending with, got rejected from the midpoint of that channel. And so basically what I could see is maybe, move up to like 3 or 4 cents. What's it trading at now? Around 1 cent. Yeah, so the top of the channel, like who knows how quickly it would get up there and if it would even get up there. But, it has kind of been bouncing around in it. Here it more or less hit the midpoint, bounced, came down, up, and now it looks like it's getting some resistance. Maybe it could pull back to this yellow line I have here, basically 1 cent. And so maybe it could go like, let's see. I'm not used to using the brush tool, so let's see. Maybe it could go like that and then that. That's kind of what I would think. Oh. Yeah, so that could happen, but it could also just go straight up like that. And that will be getting to around 3 cents. So if it's trading at 1.3 cents approximately right now, I think there's an opportunity for this to 2x. And I think that with alts, as far as I understand them, oh man, I need to like escape from the pen tool. I think I just go over there, crosshair. Okay. Yeah, it's just, being patient, waiting for it to happen and stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's that. And so what I see is that nobody is tuned in. It says 0 people watching. So what I might do is go over something that was requested in a comment. And so that was, let's see, NNDM. So let's look that up. And so, yeah, I mean, the request that I got was like, I think I got 2 requests and comments. It was like after this big move, after it gone up 11%, you know, it's like topping over here. I'm getting requests. I don't have time to do them right away. And it's like, well, I mean, it's just, let's wait to see what happens. So what I might do before I get into this, try to understand these levels that I've drawn up here. And this y-axis is linear, okay. So, yep, I'm just gonna record, a video. And so what I might do for that is I might actually just do it like this. And then I'm going to adjust this. There we go. All right. And this is around 31 minutes. Cool. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Nano Dimension, ticker symbol NNDM. And so here I am recording this on Sunday evening, December 15th, after Nano Dimension closed on Friday the 13th at a price of $2.27, being down about 5% on the day. And so yeah, I wanted to follow up on this because it was requested right around the time we were topping here. And so, you know, in all honesty, I didn't have time to follow up on it just then. And I wanted to see if we were actually breaking out or if this was a top and we would be pulling back. And as it does look like, we have pulled back some. And so I'm curious, you know, where we might be finding some support, if this is going to actually be breaking out or if this is going to be another dud like it was over here. I believe I put out a video in September and it did not break out. You see this green downtrend that I have drawn there. And so that is based on going back to the high from the beginning of March, March 4th, and then the other pivot point being the high from July 3rd. Take that with a grain of salt. It is an approximate line as we do have some candles going above it. But, you know, in September, I was thinking that we got this nice big candle going up over 11% on the day, breaking out from that green line. But then we pulled back to this red line again at 206. And so we really have been testing right around $2 a share multiple times, hitting the low here on August 9th, $2.04, really coming back up to hold that red line at 206, testing it again over here in September before that big move up, and then we did pull back just before earnings in November here, getting a nice little bounce, and from those lows, being up to about 22.5%, but now that has been reduced to about 11%. And so, yeah, let's see. Before I talk about where I think it could be finding bottom, finding some support, I found it to be pretty intriguing seeing this purple downtrend that is based on the high from February of 2022, and then the other pivot point being the high from July of 2023. So we got those 2 pivot points there. We did test it over here in March of 2024, getting rejected from there. And it looks like we're almost about to that level, which would be around $2.50 or 60 cents, but we didn't quite make it there on, let's see, December 9th, we hit a high of $2.50, kind of a psychological level, $2 bills and 2 quarter coins. So, getting rejected from there. And also, I did notice this blue uptrend here based on the low from September 6th, as well as the low from that big green candle day on September 25th. Those 2 pivot points, we did consolidate above that level. It looks like we formed a bear flag before breaking down, testing those right around $2 lows and getting back up there. And so I think that blue level, that blue trend line being approximate, take it all with a grain of salt, that was some resistance around 250. And being below that purple downtrend, also some resistance there. And then the high from September 27th was $2.60. I think, we got all of these lines kind of crossing in this general area. I think that 260 is going to be a pretty tough level to get above. Really, the range from about 250 up to 260 is going to be tough. And so I think what Nano Dimensions needs to be doing now is finding a bottom, ideally a higher low like we have put in from this low that was hit on November 19th and 18th, both days hitting a low of $2.04, having a close on the 18th at $2.05. But then getting this nice green candle, getting back above that level on the 19th, starting to move higher. And then over here in, December, on December 5th, hit a low of around $2.12. So I feel like, if this is to maintain a bullish thesis, I don't think this should be going any lower than $2.12. And so with that being said, I'm just going to draw kind of, casual trend line here that I would like to see it holding. And so maybe if price came down to like 224, that would correspond with the low over here, kind of an arbitrary level, but we did have some consolidation below that yellow line, and so maybe that would be acting as support if it came down to it right around 224, or perhaps coming down to 217, although I do think that would be probably breaking below this white uptrend here, but that orange line is going to be based on, let's see, where is that based on? Where does that originate from? I guess a pivot low from May of 2022. And, it does look like we did bounce from it over here, got some fake out breaks below it, bounce from it over here as well. So maybe that is a notable level. So possible that we do come down to 224 or 217, but we could also do a Fibonacci retracement to get an idea about some of those levels. And so, what stands out to me, we've got the 50% retracement right here at 227, the price that we closed at on Friday. So, maybe there's some significance there, but with that big red candle being down over 5% in one day, I think it's probably going to be going lower. So maybe the 618 at around 222, also a fun number, 222. I like that. You do see that it corresponds with the consolidation over here, and that could definitely be coming back to, find some support with that uptrend, and that would be right around the date of Christmas, December 25th. Of course, the market will be closed that day, but, you see it right there. And so I feel like it's unlikely that it would come down to the 786 at around 214 because that is below 217. That would be definitely breaking below this uptrend. And so I would say that 224, 222, or 217 could likely be the bottoms before we start to see some upward moves, and potentially breaking out from this purple downtrend and, also getting to and or above. Actually, if it does break above this purple downtrend, I think it would still, have a little bit of a hard time with 260, but maybe at that point it could, break above that purple downtrend, find resistance here, pull back, and then bounce to break above 260, and then maybe, get up to 275, maybe $3. Who knows? But, just like with the last video that I put out right around here, I think that this is a pretty speculative stock. And also, it is based in Israel, so I know there's a lot of stuff going on and in the world, and so I think that that could be another risk factor with this. But as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care. And so yeah, I just kind of recorded that because it was requested, and yeah, so I'm probably just gonna cut that out of this recording after the stream and post it tonight. Check that off the list. But yeah, that's kind of my analysis of Nano Dimensions, Nano Dimension, no S, which was requested in a comment right around here when it was pumping. And that, I think it's, if like I realizing, videos when stuff is boring don't get a lot of views, but that's the time to accumulate, time to add. When videos do get a lot of views, when things are really exciting, that is the time to sell. And it's like the YouTube algorithm is kind of very similar to the algorithms that exploit traders, because they exploit people's emotions. And so if people really want to be, oh, I want to be jumping in on this, it's moving 11% in a day. And it's like, you gotta check yourself. That's it might be pulling back. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that retracement there, some levels. I think that makes some sense. So hopefully that was useful. Now I'm just gonna adjust this back to matching up with my little window here. And yeah, happy to take requests, so let me know. But yeah, I will probably be ending this stream in about 15 minutes just because I got work tomorrow, and I wanted to be up before the market opens to kind of place some orders, move some stuff around. And yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of fun getting more familiar with unusual whales. I think it's just like not even necessarily unusual whales because I've kind of learned how to. I mean, it's like I don't have enough time to be doing this, but I basically learned how to extract the data from an options table to produce what unusual whales produces in like the data tables that I refer to, and also doing some calculations from them to get some values. But those calculations are approximate, and it's like I'd have to be doing that every single day for all of the tickers that I'm interested in. And so unusual whales is just like a really great way to just kind of jump into, learning more about the stocks, not just looking at the chart, but looking at the options data. I think it's a really useful tool. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm happy to go over requests, whether it's a chart or unusual whales data, whatever. And also kind of one of the reasons why I didn't put out a Nano Dimension video. I looked up the options data, and it's like, man, this is just like not that exciting. I don't really see anything. Nothing's standing out to me. But I've also gotten more familiar with unusual whales, so maybe I could check it out and just look up NNDM. And so, this is the highest volume since it's a cheap stock, low premium. Highest volume doesn't really tell us that much, so we want to look at the highest amount of premium. So the highest amount of premium traded on Friday was like less than $2,500. And so to me, it's not too exciting. Let's see. QURE. What's up, NASCAR? How's it going? Let's see. QURE. I'm just going to type in QURE here to see if there's anything that stands out. So this is organized again by highest volume. I'm just going to go over to highest premium. $360,000 on this call. So I might actually switch over to my ticker request live list, add that, and I'll add this one just so we can kind of get a comparison. These are January expirations, and looking at this in the 30 days. So we got some more moves. Let's see here. This was almost $2 million, $1.7 million traded on December 10th. and that was 4,000 contracts traded. And following that, the open interest dropped by almost 2,500 contracts. So while this is a call, the number of contracts have been going down, so this would suggest that it's bearish. So I would say from this data, I would be leaning more bearish. Looking at the $15 put, we can see this doesn't have any $1 million orders, so it's nothing too crazy. So can't really take too much from this. But just from this call, the $12 call that expires on January 17th, that seems like it's more bearish. We do have behind me, this is the stock price in yellow going up over the past, I believe, 30 days. And with that, we saw a good amount of calls being sold. That's the green coming negative, calls being sold as it's moved up. And then shortly following that, we saw some puts being sold. So they're like getting bullish, but I think they were just kind of late to the party. And then more calls being sold. Net, it looks like it's more calls being sold than bought, and more calls being sold than puts being sold. So this just seems to be most notably bearish. Like this move up in the stock price does not seem like it will be sustained just from looking at the options data. And so that information can be informative for, trading stock if you don't want to be trading options. So yeah, this actually, what's interesting about this is, it's like, I think it's kind of like an island gap fill. I'm not sure what the term is for that, but it's like there's this gap down and there's like this island here, and a way to get back out from that island is to jump back up to where that gap was. But it didn't quite get there. It didn't quite make it to, what was the price over here? The close was 1944, so that's marked right there. Just going to make that the gap style. So yeah, it couldn't quite make it up there. And yeah, maybe there's a trend line here. So maybe it could be pulling back to that, but maybe it could also be pulling back to that. And so yeah, the options make me think this is not going to be sustainable. And let's actually look up information on this. Uniqure NV is a company based in the Netherlands, specialized in gene therapy. It seeks to develop one-time administered treatments with potentially curative results for patients suffering from genetic and other devastating diseases. It develops both internally and through partnerships a pipeline of gene therapies. It produces adeno-associated virus-based or AAV-based gene therapies in its own facilities with a proprietary commercial-scale current good manufacturing practices, compliant manufacturing processes. AMT-061, the company's lead product candidate for patients with hemophilia B, is going through a dosing phase of a pivotal study. AMT-130, the product candidate for patients with Huntington's disease, is in phase 1/2 clinical study. And so my experience with biopharmaceutical stuff is it's kind of a toss-up. Some stuff like Questive, great. Other stuff like biotherapeutics and others can be very risky. Yeah, so, I feel like this is probably more likely to come down to like 1050, let's say, at least, to test that as support, which is probably going to be weak support. I think that's more likely than it going up to 1950 44 to fill that gap. If we do look at, let's see, there's the big move here. And so if I do a Fibonacci extension, we can then see where it might be going or where we were expecting it to have gone. Maybe it's already been there. And so just doing this. And so like the 100%, that is like a measured, the same distance, you know, from here. So just kind of like take that from there to the low. That's how you get the 100%. But yeah, it looks like it's contending with the 1618. Haven't gotten any closes above that, which is at like 1678, being approximate, 1675, let's say. So yeah, I feel like the move is done. And I would say that is not only from looking at the chart with this big gap here, and not having gotten up to this gap with that big move, I would have expected it to not have any resistance up until 1944. But it did bump into some resistance. And so I feel like in that sense, it's more likely to come down. And then looking at the options data, I think more likely to come down. Hey, Benjamin, what's up? I'm happy to go over a ticker of your choosing. Can probably only do one though, because I have work tomorrow and I want to get up early to like organize some stuff. I did just put out an AMD video that had like a really big options, a lot of premium traded on Friday. And so I wanted to know if that was buying or selling, which I'll find out before open tomorrow. And so I kind of wanted to just post, you know, a screenshot of that to the channel in the morning and also set up some trades for myself. But yeah, happy to go over a request for you, Benjamin. Cheers. And so what are my thoughts on Blink? I thought you were going to ask that. So for me, kind of like, I guess I can kind of go over like, before getting into the chart of Blink, kind of like my sentiment with ChargePoint has just been, you know, it's a very speculative play. And I feel like I really see that in the options data, just because there's not a lot of premium traded on it. Like big accounts aren't wanting to put their money on these, you know, stocks that are trading like effectively, like I feel like below $3 or $4 a share. And so, and it's just like looking at that options data, it's like there's just so much more data than just, you know, looking at the candles, trying to analyze them with technical analysis. And I feel like, you know, you can look back at my track record. I feel like I'm at best 50-50. Sometimes I nail it, but a lot of times I don't. And I think that options really add to that. So I've been kind of realizing like, well, you know, why do I want to be, you know, like ChargePoint, I do have some calls on that, but it's like, well, why do I want to be trading calls? I already have shares. And, you know, I can just average down very passively, very slowly. And I'd rather just be focusing on the options contracts that are in companies that I like, that seem like they've got a lot of premium behind them, a lot of money behind them, and, you know, effectively whales moving them. And yeah, so I don't know. I feel like my stance with ChargePoint, like as far as like me being more active with that, I'm probably just going to like, if it dips, which I'm expecting ChargePoint to pull back to 108, but if it dips, then I'll add a little bit. But I'm not going to get too aggressive with it. But anyways, with Blink, got this green line here at 153. That was the low over here. So, you know, I think that's kind of an important level. We did trade below it over here. 148 is going to be another important level. I've got an alert there at 148. And so like if it does break below 148, I'd wait to see where it closes, because yeah, I mean, like I mentioned this in the AMC video, but I think it's like it's just a really good way to think about, maybe not how most retail trades, but some will trade with like, okay, you know, it put in this low here and it's going up a bunch. I don't expect it to go back to that low. So maybe I'd have a stop loss there. Then it goes below that low. gets people stopped out of their positions, and then it goes up higher. People say, crap, it's up over 12% in one day on the 9th. Maybe I should follow that momentum and, go with it. And then they buy back in, and then they get rugged. And, yeah, and so I think that if this comes back to 148, that might be another level where people are like, okay, well, if it goes below 148, I can't take it anymore. I'm cutting my losses. I'm looking at something else. But if it wicks below 148 and then closes above that, or even like, this, it's had multiple days kind of flirting with that 153. But there haven't, like, so the close here, when it first closed below 153, that closed at 152. And so we did have, I believe, another close at 152 here, but none lower than it. Or actually, sorry, I should say the low was 150. We have not had any closes below 150, which that would be the confirming close, because we have this prior low here, so that's a very key level. It's just a line drawn from that low, so it's not a trend line, nothing to interpret about it. It's just right there, that low of 153. We get one close below it. It's like, okay, that's making me a little concerned. But then it starts consolidating around there, but then there are no closes below the low of 150 when that candle closed below 153. And so closing below 150 would be confirmation of that break. That would put a more bearish bias on it. That hasn't happened yet. Even though it hit a lower low of 148, it hasn't closed below this low of 150. So I'm actually going to make that yellow so it stands out a little bit more than the other ones. And so if we hit 150, or if we hit 148 or even lower, if we close below 150, that effectively is a confirmation of a break below 153, and so that makes it seem more bearish. But if it doesn't close below 150, then I think it's probably more likely to be forming a bottom. If it closes below 148, I feel like that is not looking so good, that not necessarily that it's going to fall off a cliff, but that the bottom's not necessarily in yet. It might take some time to form that. And so looking at the chart here, though, just these like 5 candles from the last week, Monday, looks like we got a great move up 12.66%. And then we've gotten these, this is not an inside bar, but these two are, I believe. I'm not exactly sure what inside bar is, but I think that would just mean any candles that trade within the range of this big green candle here. And so effectively what this looks like to me is a rising three methods, potentially a rising three methods, where you have this big green candle, and then what would you see is 3 inside bars stepping down. Here we have 4, and this one was opened higher than up here. This one closed lower, so that doesn't seem so great. But if there was a big candle, like a big reversal candle to the upside, just like this one, to kind of mirror it, going up here, and if it were to close above the high and the open from Tuesday, the 10th, which was 181, then that could be, kind of like this rising three methods, which I'm not going to draw a box because that gets a little wonky because it has to be on like one day and another day. So what I will do is I'll just draw a line from here on this day. So what we'd like to see, what I'd like to see is that. Oh, wait. I screwed that up. So let's see. So, let's say we open at Friday's close. And then we close. Why did that not work? Man, I was drawing with this so good before. I don't know what's going on, man. What? That's supposed to be a straight line. I'll put some zigs and some zags in it. I don't know what's going on. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see a big candle like this one to suggest that it will continue up. But yeah, I mean, I'd be looking for 150 and 148 to be holding. But I mean, this still is, I mean, like this is, coming back to like, so the low over here on December 3rd was 153. The low over here on November 26th was 153. The low on Friday, the 13th, was 153. So that level is being tested a lot. That's that green line. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to see it holding up and then, doing a nice reversal candle. So, yeah, I mean, that's all that I can say about that. I mean, I guess it's like volume here, big, and then it fades as it comes down. So I think that's a good sign. But we need to see a reversal candle, I think. So hopefully we get that. So NASCAR, what's up? UBXG is up 50% after hours Friday. It's 260 days post IPO, which has been pivot point with these former Chinese IPOs in the past. Not saying it runs 500% tomorrow, but it's on watch. Nice. So I'll pull that up, and since I have been streaming for an hour, this will be the last one that I go over, so I can release that NNDM video and get myself ready for tomorrow. So let's see, UBXG. So I'll add that, and Mr. Bagel Show, Blink, many VTOL companies and quantum stocks on my radar things. I did go over, yeah, no problem, Mr. Bagel, and I did go over, let's see, RGTI, which is a Rigetti computing, quantum computing, like cloud solutions. So that might be of interest. And sorry I haven't gotten to VTOL follow-up. I know you commented about that. So what I was thinking is I might just do kind of like throw up Archer, some of the other VTOL stocks, if I can remember them. And I was thinking I'd just look at the Unusual Whales options data. I'm not going to do it tonight just because I got to be winding this down. But I was going to try, and I don't know if I get a video out on that tomorrow, maybe Tuesday, and just to kind of see about that data. But yeah, let's see. And then also think of XTIA, one last video. So yeah, I'll pull up XTIA because I can go over that real quick, and then I'll get into UBXG. But I don't want the alerts. I want to this. Yeah, so I mean, I drew this trend line a couple weeks ago, a couple Sundays ago, I believe. And yeah, I mean, so I feel like this downtrend that I have here is probably not that useful because it's like based on a low and then these spikes. So maybe, I'd want to move that to be like there. So maybe there's something, with these highs getting rejected from that. But really, like, regardless of that, it's broken below this downtrend. Maybe that's a dip buy, got this hammer candle or, dragonfly doji almost. This little hammer here, which is not really too significant because that tail's pretty small. But I just think that this is, I mean, like, it's like there's so many, like, the character from, like, I think Up, where it's like the dog and it's just like squirrel, 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 squirrel. I think it's better to just focus on, what has the most data behind it that looks good. And so, I mean, let's look at the options data for XTIA. There is none. There's nothing here. So I think this is there's just not enough data on it. It's a literal penny stock, and it has a history of bleeding over time. So, and it's like the saying, do you want to get rich quick? And you're probably going to go broke quicker. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is just a total gamble, and maybe it moves up 100%. But in the options video that I do every week, I don't have a lot of money in my plays. Just, I mean, I'm not a big trader, but I have had multiple trades in there that go up to 80, 100% over the span of a couple of weeks. And so I think, options are very risky. They can expire worthless, but stocks can go to zero. We've seen that with Biora. We've seen that with Fisker. I've experienced it with Lordstown Motors. Yeah, and so and this is an aerospace company with a market cap of less than $9 million. I'm not sure. I have no idea, but I suspect that there are probably some people that watch this channel that work with more than $8 million, that work with more than $9 million. I don't. My market cap is much smaller than that, but I'm not an aerospace company. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is, I think that, like Archer recently, like ripped faces off. I know, a lot of those other stocks, VTOL and the other ones, I think that's investing in a company that will be doing something very similar to XTI Aerospace, but they're trading with a market cap that they can actually use. So, I mean, XTIA kind of makes me think of Mullen Automotive. It's just like, it's just too small and it's going to zero, to be doing what they're talking about. So I don't know if it's a bug or a little piece of dust coming down. But yeah, UBXG. So yeah, Mr. Bagel Show, yeah, with XTIA. I like it. I'll add if it dips. There's some recent FAA clearance they got. Oh, so that's nice. But yeah, so I had been I check it occasionally, maybe every other day. I look at it, but then I noticed, yeah, it's breaking that trend line. So, I mean, it is possible. I mean, a hammer candle here. There could be some bottoming signals here, but I don't know. Yeah, it's depends on the risk tolerance and stuff, or the attention to it and stuff. Also, Archer and Joby. Yeah, so I'm going to actually note that because I was forgetting Joby. So Archer, which I of course know. I think it's ACHR. I'm not, or whatever. I know the ticker Joby and VTOL. So what I'll probably do, I don't know that I'll get to it tomorrow because I work a long day tomorrow and Tuesday, but probably Tuesday I'll try to, it'll be like a rough cut video, might be kind of long, but I'll try to get into Archer, Joby, and VTOL unusual whales data, because I think that could be helpful in, discerning which direction they're going in. But yeah, can't do that with XTIA. But so yeah, just to close out the video, because I can't be doing this too late, otherwise I'll be dead tomorrow. This one, yeah, looking at it on the daily time frame, got this big candle here, up, actually down 1% on the day. But if I switch over to the hourly time frame, up over 52% in the after hours. So pretty crazy move there. And, with that, it has been consolidating up here. So, I'm not really, I feel like after hours pre-market data is always just kind of sketchy. I feel like there's a lot of manipulation that goes on with them. But this looks to me like, it's a little bit of a bull flag there, maybe. Tight little bull flag. So, but it does have these big wicks, these two big wicks. These are the hourly candles. So maybe that's suggesting that, what level is this? 524 is going to be a tough one to, close above, or to, yeah, there haven't been any closes above it. The highest close, this candle, 524. And yeah, so I mean, I could do a retracement, but I don't know how useful that would be. But yeah, I mean, maybe you know, as NASCAR All Out has said, uh, that yeah. So let's see, NASCAR. I'll read your other comment in a second, but UBXG saying is up 50% after hours Friday. It's 260-day post IPO, which has been the pivot point for these former Chinese IPOs in the past. Not saying it runs 100% tomorrow, but it's on watch. Yeah, so I mean, this could be a fun one to watch. And yeah, I mean, and just looking at the hourly time frame too, the times that it has moved up, it's only been 1 hour candle above, one like just a wick above. And so, you know, kind of just going in this, let's see, how much can I get in here? You know, when it's like kind of started to trade in this range, let's see what a channel looks like here. You know, it's currently, I don't like the white on that, so I'm just going to make that. It's just too invasive, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, it's been trading in this downtrend, had a couple candles go above, but not multiple closes really above, I guess over here. But over here, yeah, broke above and it's trading above. So maybe it could be retracing to like $4, which would then be like retracing to the scene of the crime, that top of that channel, which is approximate. Maybe pulls back to $4, but then that, you know, be a good check back before it continues higher. So I think this looks pretty good if this is your kind of style. And just to note, NASCAR, who requested this, 20% of XTIA's market cap. And so, yeah, putting that into perspective. So, so for me, my net worth is more than what I trade with, but I really only think about, you know, just like what's in my trading account, and I try not to add to it. But yeah, so I mean, you're working with, you know, more funny money than me, and so that's yeah. So everybody's always got to take that into perspective. And one thing that I've really appreciated over time, I've always gotten made fun of for the small amount of profits that I take. Because I usually take them in like, whatever percentages. It doesn't matter how large the position is, like as far as dollar amount, just like percentage increments. And people will make fun of me for, like, you can see in my options videos, like the profits that I take, they're pretty small. But from doing those options videos, my trading is greatly improved. Just because, like, with the expiration dates, knowing that they're probably going to expire worthless, I'm not shy about taking profits, and those small gains add up. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on your style, what works for you, and I find that, like, it's all unique, very individual to the person, the amount of funds they're working with, the time horizon they have, whether they have families. I don't have a family. I don't even have pets. I got like 3 house plants and house I got to take care of and stuff. But other than that, you know, my responsibilities are very minimal. And so, yeah, but I think that through navigating the way that trading works for me, I think that I'm able to, you know, figure out what works for me. And so, yeah, so Mr. Bagel Show says also Archer and Joby. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow. Mondays are also a really busy day for me because when I come back from work, I usually sell covered calls on a weekly basis, and I update all that stuff in a spreadsheet, keep track of it. Very nerdy, but it helps me out, you know, so I know, you know, basically bookkeeping, whatever, accounting. And so Mondays, I always have a lot of stuff to catch up with that. So I don't know that I get to an Archer, Joby, or VTOL video tomorrow, but if that is to be casual, and I'm just going to be looking at the unusual whales data, yeah, so I'm actually just going to add them up here. ACHR, yeah, Archer, Joby, and VTOL. And so I'll just take a quick peek at those, and then I'm going to close the stream down. So Archer, I mean, in all honesty, just glancing at this looks like a big move up. I would think it's somewhat overextended, but it's pulled back and consolidated. That makes me think like this is a healthy move and that it's likely to continue higher. And you can like look at like the Bitcoin chart and some of the crypto charts. They've had some big moves up, pulled back and consolidated. Makes me a little antsy because it's like, well, maybe this is like a bear flag with the pullback and consolidation. No, I think it's just a healthy consolidation following a big move to the upside. If we look at this on the weekly, it's just big move consolidation. So maybe a couple more weeks to a month more consolidating up here, and then maybe it breaks higher. But that's getting into the new year, so lots of variability around that. But I think that these companies are really just positioned really good regarding regulation, regarding the FAA and stuff, because you hear so much about Elon talking about how, the FAA is holding back a launch. We have Starship ready to go, but we're waiting on the FAA. And so a lot of that regulation, it's like rocket science should be holding back that progress. Like the saying, it's not rocket science. Well, rocket science is rocket science. And so that's the toughest stuff. And for that to be held back by administrative, bureaucratic, whatever stuff, I think a lot of that is going to be trimmed back in a way that incentivizes, encourages, promotes innovation. And so I think companies like ACHR will be able to benefit from that, as well as Joby, same type of thing, big up move. Does look like it's, lower highs here, so maybe that would be of concern. But we also see lower highs in the RSI, so there's no divergence there or anything. Looking at VTOL, this one, oh wow, this is actually interesting. Very different chart. But yeah, I guess from this chart, I could see it pulling back to around 33, maybe before finding its footing, just based on, this 50% retracement here. But it's already tested that, so maybe the bottom's in. But yeah, I think that's, I look forward to going over that data, but I do need to sign off so I can put out the Nano Dimension video and get myself ready for a couple days at a job that I hate. But yeah, and so I guess I'll, close on that little ramble. And, if you guys have not already, please make sure you like the stream. I do think it helps out the channel. I do appreciate it. And I think you guys are all subscribed. But if you're not, make sure you subscribe. And, always let me know your thoughts, whether, it's here in the live stream. I'm going to try to do them on Sundays and also, in the comments. And I have to say, I haven't been as responsive to comments over the past like 1 or 2 months, just because, I don't know. It's just, I feel like I've been finding that I get more out of the market, my trading, when I focus in on like the unusual whales data, the options, try to use that to inform stuff for videos. But yeah, I feel like that adds value for me rather than like putting out a video where it's like something's going up a bunch or maybe it's pulling back some, but trying to like do like a weekly video on something, not knowing where the bottom's going to be. Yeah, so I don't know. If I don't respond to comments, I do see them. I just, I need to conserve my energy, I guess. And I feel like I'm able to communicate with a lot of you guys through the live chat here. So, and with that being said, I don't usually finish these during the stream, but I have finished this just about, so I'll slam it, and then I'll say goodbye for the night, for the week. And I got the cherry in that slam, so that worked out well. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Hopefully you have a great week. And I don't know if maybe I'll do another live stream, maybe on Wednesday or Thursday. So let me know in some of the videos that I post if you want another live stream. But yeah, I'm just feeling really good about the end of the year. Excited about crypto, what's going on there. And just, I think, like honing the way that the style of trading that really works for me, which is using options data to inform on trades and getting in and out of positions. So yeah, thank you so much for joining. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, a great start to the week, and I'll see you later. Take care, you guys.